here.
Mhm.
Were you worried about Bobby informing on you?
Never.
I'm just asking.
Never even entered my mind. Never even entered my mind. He told me what to do, and I did what he told me to do. And that's the oath I took in that hotel room that night, was to follow him, not to follow
Yeah.
guys from 300
Well,
miles.
you were respectfully, not a bad thing per se. You were more loyal to Luisi than Cosa Nostra or the Philly crime family.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Bobby,
loyal to the North End.
got it. So when Bobby does his thing, what do you do then? Do you stick around?
Yeah, before that even happened, like right after the pinch, I got someone to get me a Penske truck, put the gun safe, the Harley, the furniture, everything on the truck, wiped the house down, left the phone on. So if people are calling, they know the phone's still active. Had cleaners come in and re-cleaned the house again after I was gone, and drove that truck all the way to a reservation in Arizona where they can't get you. I was under the protection of tribal law. They had to get a liaison if they wanted me.
But so who? Just so I understand the context, who would have went after you theoretically? Would have been the Patriarchas. Could have been.
No,
guys.
Feds. I wasn't worried about those guys.
Oh, so it could have been an associate trying to make a name. Could have been a past enemy. It could have been anybody.
Yeah, but I was more worried about the Feds and who else was going to rat. You know what I mean? Where especially, I always have that in the back of my head where I got framed for something, not once but twice in my lifetime for something I didn't do. You know what I mean? That's my biggest fear. And the person who did it to me the second time was my ex-wife.
Got it.
She played upon my worst nightmare, just to rob my house.
Which typically ex-wife scenarios usually end up poorly. Okay.
You know why divorce is so expensive?
Because it's worth it.
There you go.
All right. So let's go to the next part of your life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bobby, I think, was in Tennessee. When did you and Bobby hook back up?
Not until I found him on Facebook. Alonso Esposito. I never went on Facebook yet.
But he was Alonso
Esposito.
Yeah.
And I called him from Florida. I was living down in Florida at the time.
Oh, but how did you find him in a different name?
Huh?
How did you find him in a different name?
How could I miss that face? He's like a young
what I'm saying is, how did you find that face?
It came up under the things, how they pop up. I'm horrible.
Stop it. So the algorithm basically outed Bobby to another guy that, thank God, was his friend, because otherwise it could have went really poorly.
No, it went. It's not like it was.
I'm just having fun. I know Bobby's listening.
Yeah,
having fun, Bobby.
He's in the bedroom.
He
just came out.
My beautiful wife is on. My beautiful wife is on, and Paulie, you will get to meet her when we come visit you in the North End. Or you and Bobby always have an open invitation to come down to New Jersey. You guys know that already, but the invite is there. All right. Okay. What about you hook back up with Bobby? You moved back to Boston.
And did the John A. Light show. That's I
right.
We did Johnny A. Light show.
That's right. I'm not gonna lie. You sat there, right? And I didn't know you were a maid. I didn't know that.
No one does. I never talk about it.
I knew you're their friend. And I'm not gonna lie. I said to myself, this guy is either the nicest guy, or we'll put a pick through both, like through your head, and it'll come out the other side, right? So then when I met you, what did I find out? You're a nice guy, but you would still put a pick through somebody's head.
I would never raise my hands to anyone.
You'll go into a busy street to save a puppy. I'm not saying that, but I also would not want to get on your bad side either.
You could never do that. I love you, Tom. We got to go to the Pine Boroughs if we're going to New Jersey. I want to go ghost hunting.
I ain't going hiking with you, my friend. Just kidding. All right.
Bobby won't come in the woods with me either. I'm on the tuna boat. Right. It's not just for me to get guys to come on boats with me. I don't understand why.
So you do the Johnny A. Light show. Shout out to Johnny. So John, you do the, like, you're not a media guy. You're hanging out. like what, like to you, what is all this? Like, is this like fucking like to Paul Tanso, the guy who grew up in the North End, in an alley, around wise guys, around street guys? You're now on YouTube talking to some idiot from New Jersey. Like, is this surreal for you?
You're one of us. You're like a brother. Come on.
No, I know.
You're a brother to me, Tom, all the time. I treat
No,
you
I
like a
know.
brother.
I know.
You got my
No,
respect.
what I'm saying is, all joking aside,
Yeah.
the YouTube aspect has to be pretty surreal for you, no?
Yeah, I'm not like there was never any pictures of me. You know what I mean? There's really none. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm not, photogenic and stuff like that. And I don't fit the normal criteria. Like, I do my own thing. I'd rather be out fishing, hiking. I just came back from dog sledding up New Hampshire.
So now I know you addressed this, but well, let me get to the questions and then we'll go to other stuff. Okay. Bruce City. Okay. Bobby, one more time, blah, blah. Let me just see. Maybe only the Hollywood media can explain. Paul likely can't, but I love Bruce City. He's a little verbose. He writes a lot of things to get to a little bit. How attractive and unique is the street layout and architecture in North End with its rich mafia history? Why so little non-existent media attention been paid to the North End? I actually want to rephrase it because I think about this all the time.
The architecture is incredible.
Well, not just that. The North End, it's weird. It doesn't get like I was the old show with John when we had you guys on. I said, "Hey, Mobsters Inc." I said the North End in Little Italy, North End, trumps both NYC and Arthur Ave. I still get like hate mail to this day, right? To me, the North End is one of the most underrated places in the country. Why do you think, Paul?
It's like I says, like you said, where's your loyalty to like the mob to this? My loyalty's to the North End. When you're born at the North End, your loyalty's always to the North End.
But you get what I'm saying? Like if you think of Boston, right? You think of this like an Irish town, but it's so rich in Italian history. You know what I mean? It just I hope someday it gets its due and it gets its day, you know?
Yeah. And the architecture for the buildings and stuff is incredible. I got a course completion from Boston Architectural Center on Newberry Street.
That's awesome. All right.
So I could read blueprints.
Paulie, what are your thoughts? And again, I know you don't love to talk about current guys, so I'll ask questions, answer as you feel appropriate. What are your thoughts on Joey Molino and whose highest ranking member of the Patriarcha family he's actually dealt with or interacted with? So A, what did you think of Joey Molino? And then B, you have to say the name of a Patriarcha, maybe the highest level you ever dealt with personally.
Joey, I met him 3 times.
Yeah.
Coolest guy to hang out with.
Awesome.
It's like being out with one of my childhood friends. You won't know the difference. He you know what I mean? Yes, he's an imposing figure and everything for the people on the outside, but if you're with him, you know what I mean? It's like the same with my friend Jimmy Lavoli. He was the most dangerous guy in the neighborhood, but with me, he loved me, so I never had to worry, you know?
What about the highest level patriarch you've ever met? Give the name. How was that person to deal with, maybe versus even Joey?
I met Jerry and Julo at Fort Devens.
Oh, wow.